Hi guys, and welcome to one of our videos for the DIY Christmas gift ideas that we've been doing. If you haven't seen the others, there are a couple going in this group and they're amazing. So make sure to catch the other videos as well. But today I'm going to show you how to make some raw chocolate and some raw chocolate nut, what would you call them, nut discs. So I'm going to show you two different ways that you can make a raw chocolate recipe, basically. Now, I have to say that the downside with raw chocolate is, okay, well, it's delicious and it's healthy, so many good sides to it. But the downside is that this recipe, it won't, you can't keep it out. Like, it needs to be kept in the fridge because I'm using coconut oil in this recipe and that will melt quickly. And so whilst this is a wonderful gift to give someone, it's not something that you can put under the Christmas tree unless it's a very, very cold room. But if it's anywhere near a radiator or anything like that, that's not going to work. So I do have some other suggestions of how you can give this as a gift without actually making the chocolate. And so one of those ideas is that, so this is the raw cacao powder that I use, and it's an amazing cacao powder. And just like we love the story behind the oils and all of the benefit that goes to the farmers who create the plants that we then derive the amazing essential oils from, I think that this cacao powder, it also has such a lovely backstory to it, and it tells you a little bit about the farmers who are growing the cacao and all of that. So this cacao powder, you don't have to buy quite such a big bag, but you can. I buy from Amazon. You may be able to buy it through this company directly. But so this could be a lovely gift to give someone. I have a little helper, by the way. You want to say hi? So you could give a gift of cacao powder, and we're mainly going to be using in today's recipe the wild orange essential oil. So you could use the cacao powder, you could gift the cacao powder, a bottle of wild orange, and maybe even the silicone mold with which we're going to make the chocolates with. So that's just an idea of how you could give this as a gift without actually making the chocolates, which may potentially melt. Never ideal, unless, as I said, it's a very cold room that you can keep them in, or a fridge. Of course, you can make this as a gift and you know, have it in your fridge to then eat and enjoy together. But I was just thinking of ways that you could give this, you know, that would work. So without further ado, let's actually make some chocolate. So first of all, what you're going to need is some coconut oil, and I've just melted this on the agar. Don't touch it though, it's a bit hot. So some coconut oil or some cacao butter, and don't worry, I'm going to put the whole recipe below this video for you. But so we start with either some melted coconut oil or cacao butter. I tend to use coconut oil mainly because two reasons. It's less expensive and it's easier to get hold of. Cacao butter is quite tricky to find. But you can use cacao butter and you can experiment between using the two, but I'm happy using coconut oil. So the next thing we're going to add to that is our cacao powder. Now, cacao powder is different from cocoa powder. Cacao powder means that it's unroasted, so it's still raw, and there are many more benefits from having cacao in its raw form compared to when it's been roasted and heat treated. Actually, I should go back a step. Cacao powder has been roasted, but it hasn't gone through the same process that cocoa powder has. So first of all, we're going to add some of our cacao powder. Now this looks just the same as cocoa. It's very bitter. It has no sugar to it. Like I said, it's the raw material, meaning that we've got all of the minerals, the enzymes, all of the incredible benefits that chocolate can give us. So, Boo, if you lift your legs, I'm just going to grab a spoon. So we put, let me just check, 60 grams, I believe. Yeah, 60 grams of cacao powder. And like I said, I will put the recipe below here. So, oh, it's a bit messy already. Okay, perfect. So 60 grams of cacao powder into the melted coconut oil or cacao butter. And then 60 grams, I'm actually going to use a little bit less, but if you've got more of a sweet tooth, I'd go for 60 grams of some kind of liquid sugar. So you could use maple syrup, you could use honey. I like to use brown rice syrup. Yes, darling?
Mommy, I want to decorate these.
Yeah, in a minute. I use brown rice syrup because it doesn't contain any fructose. It's purely glucose sugar, and I prefer to use that. But you can use any liquid sweetener that you like. So I'm going to add 50 grams. And like I said, if you've got a sweeter tooth, you may prefer to add a little bit more. And then, Boo, you want to give that a little stir for me? Let's see if I can get you in the camera. Oh, just your hand right now. And then we're going to add a little salt. There we go. Yay, good stirring. Now, I love to use wild orange to make orange chocolate flavour, essentially. Other oils you can use are peppermint, cinnamon. Some people love geranium. It's like makes a kind of Turkish delight kind of flavour. But I'm just going to keep things simple and just go for some wild orange today. So again, it depends what oil you're going to use as to how many drops of essential oil you'd use. But for wild orange, you can go for about 6 to 8 drops, depending on how sweet, how orangey you like it to be. So I'm going to go for 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I think that was 8 in the end.
Mommy, please can you give that to me as a Christmas present?
Give what as a Christmas present? Shall we talk about it after? So now I've just mixed it all together, and you want to just do your best to get out any of the lumpy bits. Now, just to make little raw chocolates that you're going to keep in the fridge, you just need a silicone mold like this, or if you don't have a silicone mold, you could even use an ice cube tray or something like that. And then all you need to do is spoon your raw cacao mixture into the silicone mold and pop this in the fridge. Now, that's not what I'm going to do right now, but that is one very simple option that you can do, and which we often do. A second option, which I'm going to show you now, is that I'm just using these cute little, do you call them stencils? I'm not sure. They're obviously for cutting dough, but I'm using them to hold the shape because I'm hoping that it will make pretty shapes. So I've got some, I haven't got you at a very good angle, but I've got some chopped up almonds over here. Can you see that? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like these nut clusters. So I'm just going to sprinkle, actually, I'm not going to do that. Ignore that. I'm going to put my nuts in my cacao powder mixture. So I'm going to, it's 100 grams of chopped almonds. And I'm going to...
Mommy, there's more.
There's more. Thank you, my darling.
And there.
I know. There's chopped almonds everywhere. You could buy chopped almonds. I just bashed them up a little bit with a rolling pin. So I've added my almonds to the cacao mixture. And it now looks like that. So that was 100 grams of almonds. Now I'm going to spoon out my mixture. Do you want to help with this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you spoon the mixture into the shapes?
Yes, and then we can do that.
Yeah. So Jazzy is just going to put the chocolate nut combo in the little stencils, and we've got it on a baking tray with some baking paper. Okay, good girl. And we've, like I said, I normally make these not with any stencils. You can just do them as like a round shape, but I was just gonna try out to see if they would hold their shape if I put them in the stencils. Okay, now for the star, darling. That's it. Ooh, we're getting some everywhere. Okay, so let's just pat that down a bit. Right, let's see if I can show you what that looks like. Can you see now? So we've just put our little chocolate combo in these discs. Now, if I didn't want to use anything, what I could also do is make a slab, and then you can cut it up and you cut it into squares once you take it out of the freezer. But I'm just trying to see if it works with these little stencils. You can also make little blobs. Maybe it's not the prettiest way of doing it, but you can definitely make little blobs. So essentially, after you've made your slab or your blobs or your shapes, so we've got 2 hearts and a star going, then you pop that in the freezer and you can leave it there for about 15 minutes and then it should be ready to eat. So that was just another idea of how you could use your raw chocolate, and I personally love the combination of chocolate and nuts together. But if you have a nut allergy or for any reason you don't want to use nuts, then of course you can go for just using the silicone mold and just make your raw chocolates like that. So like I said, it can definitely work as a gift. Perhaps if you gift the cacao powder and the wild orange, that would be a nice gift. Or you can make them and just make sure to store them in a cold place. If you've got any questions about chocolate making, then I would be happy to help. And otherwise, I hope that this was fun and interesting. And come here, sous chef. Are we gonna eat some chocolate in a minute? Yeah? All right, if you got any questions, let me know. And otherwise, have a great rest of your day and see you soon. Bye.